How do you take your coffee? For most Americans, it's with cream and sugar. But if you knew how damaging some of these most popular coffee add-ins like flavored syrups, milk, artificial creamers, and artificial sweeteners can be to your gut and your health, you'd probably want to start taking your coffee black. But before you do, I want to tell you about something you can add to your coffee instead, or even a smoothie or a glass of water that's not just a healthier choice, but that can actually boost your digestive system, turbocharge your energy levels, and even help you lose weight. I'm Dr. Vincent Pedre, one of New York City's leading physicians and a gut health expert. I secretly suffered with abdominal pain, cramping, bloating, and fatigue for years. I also constantly struggled to maintain a healthy weight. I tried everything from changing my diet to acupuncture to a plethora of pharmaceuticals. And while some things brought relief, it was never lasting. Sound familiar? Well, even with all of my medical training, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was so embarrassed, and I didn't want anyone to know. How could I help my patients if I couldn't even help myself? But everything changed when I determined the root cause of all of my problems. Since then, I've uncovered groundbreaking research that is now allowing me to eat many of my favorite foods without fear of indigestion, low energy, or frustrating weight issues. Want to know exactly what I did that finally worked? Well, if you drink coffee every morning, then you'll be happy to hear that I have found a way to supercharge your cup of joe by adding a tasty treat that works like a delicious creamer, but without any of the negative side effects, to improve your digestion, boost your energy, and help you better manage your weight by supporting your gut health. And if you're like me and don't drink coffee, don't worry. This is something you can add to any drink, from chai tea to just plain water. I personally like to put it in my morning smoothie or even oatmeal. But first, I need to explain how adding things like sugar and cream to your coffee can be so detrimental to your health. See, there are many foods in the standard American diet, like sugar, that can disrupt your gut microbiome, and this may even lead to breaking up your gut's lining, creating spaces big enough to allow destructive substances like bacteria, yeast, partially digested food particles, and other toxins to actually escape from your gut and invade your body. And when that bad stuff gets through, your immune system immediately kicks into high gear to attack these foreign invaders. While the body is doing what it knows best to protect itself, it actually starts destroying the gut lining. This is why it can become impossible to lose weight. Skin reactions often appear at a whim, your energy levels are constantly zapped, and your mind is so foggy, you keep forgetting simple things like where you put your keys. But what I've found is truly to blame for all of these health issues is something that can develop over time. It's called leaky gut syndrome, and it's a silent epidemic plaguing millions of unaware Americans that's been on the rise for the past few decades because of some dangerous changes to our food supply. And if you're just now hearing about leaky gut or don't fully understand it, I'm not surprised. No one taught us doctors about this in medical school 20 years ago. In fact, articles about leaky gut are only just starting to appear in popular publications like this one in Time magazine. I'll never forget when I first came across it in a research paper published in the Journal of Nutritional Health and Food Engineering. Initially, I thought it was a joke. I mean, leaky gut sounds pretty wild, like something you'd see in a TV episode of the latest medical drama like Grey's Anatomy or House. But the paper was written by a research associate at Harvard University, and it was based on cutting-edge scientific evidence. So I decided to keep reading. And let me tell you, it's a good thing I did. The more I learned about leaky gut, the more of my own gut issues started to make sense. I also realized that all my problems with fatigue and the ups and downs of my weight were actually the result of a leaky gut. Now that I finally knew the real reason I was feeling so lousy all the time, no matter what I ate or how much sleep I got, I was able to focus my efforts on finding a convenient way with clinically backed nutrients to stop leaky gut. Today, I'm going to show you scientific proof why leaky gut not only is real, but it's likely at the root of all of your digestive problems and even many of your other health concerns. I'll also share 3 simple things to avoid in order to prevent leaky gut, and one easy thing to do that will repair, protect, and strengthen your gut forever. Because my medical colleagues and I have recently discovered a way you can fix leaky gut for good. Now, you may have seen some of my other important gut health presentations online and on major TV programs like Dr. Oz and Good Morning America. Perhaps you've heard me on SiriusXM's Dr. Radio too. And I'm often asked to speak at respected health expos and medical conferences due to my extensive knowledge on how to best care for your gut. But what I am revealing for the first time publicly in this video is an indisputable new way to get healthy and support your digestive system so you can sleep better at night, wake up feeling more energized, and maintain a healthy body from head to toe. It's what I've started recommending to nearly all of my patients. And this advice has already changed the lives of hundreds of them. Plus, it worked for me. Those digestive problems I had, all gone. And I can honestly say that since I started taking some simple steps to strengthen my gut lining, I've never felt better. So I've made it my mission to spread awareness and fight this growing gut health epidemic because I don't want anyone else to suffer like I did for so long. But before I tell you about the solution I came up with, let me quickly reveal why your gut may be leaking in the first place. In fact, it's made up of just one single layer of cells responsible for keeping toxins and food particles from entering your body. And each cell is connected to the next by tight bonds that are kind of like Velcro, holding the cells together. When these cells are healthy and strong, that Velcro stays securely fastened. But over time, the connections between those cells can begin to loosen, creating spaces that allow really bad things like bacteria and yeast to get through and go where they don't belong. That's a leaky gut. And it causes your immune system to go on a rampage, attacking everything in sight. Because the immune system has one job: defend your body from any and all harmful substances. Another way to look at it is to imagine your gut lining as a border patrol. And when foreign invaders get through, your body attacks. Once that internal battle is waged, it triggers an all-out war that causes everything from brain fog to itchy skin to weight gain. Basically, a leaky gut turns the foods we eat for nourishment and energy into public enemy number 1. And because it puts your immune system on high alert, it can lead to all sorts of food sensitivities, intolerances, and even life-threatening food allergies. Let's say, for example, every time you eat eggs, partially digested pieces of egg protein leak through your gut, triggering your immune system to attack. Before long, your body is going to reject eggs altogether. Even though they provide a lot of protein, minerals, vitamins, and other nutrients your body needs to thrive, because they have become a huge burden on your immune system. Suddenly, that Cobb salad you hoped would help you slim down has activated your immune system instead, leading to inflammation and ultimately weight gain. That's not exactly what you want food, especially healthy foods like pasture-raised eggs, organic salad, and vegetables to do to your body when you eat them, right? In fact, I've had patients with leaky gut develop food sensitivities to everything from corn to cucumbers and oats to even almonds. You can see how leaky gut isn't just a digestive issue, but an all-out health epidemic that needs to be stopped now. So let's look at what causes it and how you can get rid of it. Scientists have discovered that over time, certain things will cause the protective lining of your intestines to bust open. For this reason, I call them gut busters. In other words, they actually weaken the bonds between your cells. And that means those foreign invaders we already talked about can easily escape from your gut and damage the rest of your body. Today, I'm going to reveal the top 3 gut busters that you need to avoid immediately. Because even when my number 1 gut buster is eaten in moderation, it can rip apart the cells in your gut, which are so critical for your overall health. And no, I'm not talking about the really obvious stuff like sugar, alcohol, and fried snacks. Plus, according to the National Institutes of Health, one of my other gut busters is something so common, you probably come across it at least once a day, which is why protecting and strengthening your gut lining so that harmful substances don't stand a chance at getting through is absolutely vital to your overall health and well-being. Here's the great news. Just like you brush your teeth every day, I've discovered a way you can easily clean, rejuvenate, and strengthen your gut each morning in order to safeguard the rest of your body, so that you can finally wake up feeling well-rested and energized and better manage your weight effortlessly. I'm serious. The pounds may even begin to disappear when you're not even thinking about it. I'll bet now you are wondering whether leaky gut is to blame for your digestive problems too. And if so, how can you know for sure? Unfortunately, there's not one perfect test for leaky gut yet. You really just have to go by the symptoms. This is why it often gets missed by doctors. And the reason a lot of patients are in complete denial about it. But after more than 20 years of studying the digestive system, both in my studies at Cornell University and the University of Miami School of Medicine, as well as at my thriving practice in Manhattan, where thousands come to see me from all over the country, I truly believe leaky gut is the underlying cause of most modern health issues. So if you're feeling tired, having irregular digestive issues, craving unhealthy foods, struggling to manage your weight, or just not feeling quite yourself, then it is vitally important that you keep watching this presentation. Because odds are you are one of the many millions suffering from leaky gut. And when your gut is leaky, like it was for me and virtually every one of my patients, all bets are off until the root cause is addressed. That's why I've devoted the last few months searching for the most powerful superfoods to strengthen your gut. And before the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the top 3 superfoods I've identified through my research. I chose them specifically because they are scientifically proven to nourish, strengthen, and protect the cells in your gut's lining, giving you a clean gut that will benefit your entire body. For example, a pilot study on what I consider one of the most important superfoods for your gut indicates that it could help you better manage your weight and get a slimmer waistline in just 30 days. I'll give you all the details on my top 3 superfoods and where you can find them shortly. Odds are they're available right in your grocery store if you know where to look. I've been adding them to my morning smoothie for months now, and I can tell you, they're amazing. Now, you may have already tried to lose weight, increase your energy, or improve your mood just to have friends, family, or even doctors tell you it's all part of the aging process. That's simply not true. Your quality of life doesn't have to decline as you get older. And please don't think you're to blame for letting yourself go. None of this is your fault. Millions of others are struggling just like you, and most have no idea they've got a leaky gut. In fact, we're just now learning how prevalent and damaging leaky gut actually is. But what's so frustrating to me, and what I've made my life's mission to fix, is that most people are still unaware of the best way to nourish, strengthen, and maintain a healthy gut. So you can stop a leaky gut before it's too late. Well, I've devoted the past 20 years to finding the answer to help myself and my patients.
And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge and tools necessary to improve your health and wellness, as hundreds of my patients have already done. Like Maya R., who said, "When I first went to see Dr. Pedre, I was plagued with frequent headaches, joint discomfort, fatigue, and brain fog so thick, I couldn't read through an issue of Us Weekly in one sitting. After we identified the culprits and made some strategic changes to my diet, the awful headaches, fatigue, and brain fog have vanished, and now I have the energy to live life to the fullest." I'm going to tell you exactly what Maya did in just a moment. And if you still have questions even after watching this entire presentation, I'll give you my email address at the end so you can contact me directly. But first, let me tell you a quick story about another patient I'll bet you can relate to. I can't say her name, but let's call her Emily. Emily came into my office a few months ago complaining that her energy was at an all-time low. She said she often struggled to focus on even simple day-to-day tasks like folding laundry. And like so many of my patients, Emily was also frustrated with her weight. She had put on about 10 pounds during a stressful period at work. And now, years later, she still couldn't get the scale to budge. She was embarrassed, confused, and just fed up. On top of all of that, Emily said she often had trouble sleeping. I suspected there was something in Emily's diet that was breaking up her gut's lining, resulting in leaky gut. I could almost see the microscopic bits of food getting through her weak intestinal walls, leaking into her bloodstream and triggering a chain reaction of body-wide inflammation as her immune system attacked the foreign invaders, ultimately making it impossible for her to lose weight. Even though I was certain Emily was the latest victim of leaky gut syndrome, I needed to figure out what was causing it. And when I asked her what some of her favorite foods were, she said, "I eat really healthy. I love salads and fish. I rarely have any sweets or fried foods. And when my family drinks wine at our weekly pasta Sundays, I always stick with water." As soon as I heard her say the P word, pasta, I had a bad gut feeling that Emily was under attack by my #1 gut buster, gluten. Would it surprise you to find out that even if you test negative for celiac disease, an autoimmune disorder in which gluten breaks up and destroys the small intestine, there's still a pretty high chance gluten is damaging your gut, causing you to feel sluggish, bloated, or just off? In fact, I estimate anywhere from 10 to 30% of the US population is at least somewhat sensitive or intolerant to gluten. That's nearly 100 million Americans who have no idea the breads, pastas, crackers, cookies, and other wheat-based processed foods they are eating are creating all sorts of health issues for them. So while Emily had already tested negative for celiac disease, based on all of her symptoms, I was convinced gluten was the culprit. I explained to Emily that every week when she would load up on pasta with her family, she was damaging her gut's lining, which was allowing toxins and food particles to leak through. But Emily wanted to know why. Why is gluten especially harmful to your gut? Simple. Gluten is a sticky protein found in wheat, barley, and rye products. It's what gives bread that chewy texture. But gluten also hides in a lot of other popular foods, like ice cream, French fries, soy sauce, soup, and salad dressing. In fact, it's so easy for gluten to slip into your diet these days because nearly all processed foods contain some amount of gluten. I mean, do you really read the label of everything you eat in order to avoid gluten? Because if you did, I am sure you'd be shocked. And even trace amounts can bust up your gut lining, giving way for bacteria and other toxins to slip through the cracks and trigger an unhealthy immune response. But here's the real problem with gluten. In the last 50 years, we've genetically modified wheat so much that the amount of gluten inside the plant has nearly doubled. And our bodies simply don't have enough enzymes to break down that much gluten. Plus, gluten is a sneaky molecule that knows exactly how to infiltrate anyone's gut lining, leaky or not. Now, when I say gut lining, I am referring to that very thin layer of cells I mentioned earlier that are located along the inside of both the large and small intestines. Remember, these cells are so important because they act as your gut's border patrol, keeping evil toxins from invading your body. Look, this isn't just some theory. It's backed by studies that show when gluten proteins hit your gut becomes more permeable. In other words, more bad stuff gets through. This is something scientists only really started to understand about 20 years ago. It was back in April 2000 that renowned doctor, gastroenterologist, and researcher Alessio Fasano first discovered how my top gut buster, gluten, can lead to leaky gut. While studying cholera, an extremely rare bacterial disease that causes severe diarrhea and dehydration, Fasano actually stumbled on the molecule that controls gut permeability, or leakiness. He named it zonulin, a fitting name for such an evil doer. Today, a lot of doctors like me refer to zonulin as a doorway to leaky gut because it opens up the tight bonds that connect the cells that make up the gut lining, creating a passageway for toxins, bad bacteria, and tiny food particles to enter your body and wreak havoc. It took Fasano months of experiments, laboratory tests, and clinical trials, but he ultimately determined the proteins in gluten cause the body to release zonulin. In fact, patients with celiac disease produce 10 times more zonulin than patients without gluten sensitivities, which is why I consider gluten the #1 gut buster. After I explained all of this to Emily, we talked about making some very specific changes to her diet, just like I had already done successfully with Maya and hundreds of other patients. I told Emily how repairing and protecting her gut with my top 3 superfoods and reducing gluten could be the key to regaining her energy, eliminating her brain fog, better managing her weight, and finally getting a good night's sleep. All simply because she would be strengthening her gut's lining and putting an end to leaky gut. It took some convincing, but Emily agreed to do it. "I'll try it for 1 month, but that's it," she said. When she came in for her follow-up visit, she was blown away by the results. Within that month, all of her digestive problems had vanished. She was sleeping better and said she felt like a new person. She couldn't thank me enough and swore she would continue eating those superfoods forever. Plus, she no longer craved pasta, so it had become really easy for Emily to cut back on my #1 gut buster, gluten. Of course, she admitted that every once in a while she couldn't help herself and just had to dig in on her family's pasta night. But because her gut had become so much stronger, she could do it without the fear of feeling sluggish, foggy, or bloated afterward. 3 months later, she reported to my office staff that she had finally lost those 10 pounds that had been haunting her for years. And since my superfoods were so effective for Emily, she said her husband was finally trying them too. Turns out he had been struggling with low energy and bloating for years. But Emily said his biggest problem was stubbornness. Even though she tried to get him to join her in the new superfoods regimen when she first started, he adamantly refused. And I get it. Like a lot of my patients, he was skeptical. So Emily said she made a deal with him. If she could lose 10 pounds, then he would have to give my superfoods a chance too. Well, he's been eating them for a few weeks now, and Emily can't believe the transformation that is happening right before her eyes. She said her once couch potato husband is so much more energized that he's helping do the dishes and other chores around the house. Plus, he kicked the bad habit of hitting the snooze alarm twice every morning, something they used to argue about often. Instead, he's getting out of bed before her and even making her breakfast, which he hasn't done in years. Emily said it is clear that my superfoods are giving him a long overdue energy boost, and I'm not at all surprised. The fact is that hundreds of pages of clinical studies I have scoured over the past few years, conducted by top researchers throughout the world, have all determined the same thing, that the right superfoods can soothe, nourish, and strengthen the gut's lining, protecting it from gut-busting foods like gluten. But I am getting way ahead of myself here, because I still need to tell you about the other gut busters you should avoid. And don't forget, like gluten, these things can devastate your digestive system and cause leaky gut, including gut buster #2. Non-prescription over-the-counter drugs. I'll bet you've taken something here and there for occasional discomfort, a slight headache, or heartburn. But do you really know what's at stake each time you pop one of those little pills? According to a report published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology in June of 2017, when used regularly over time, there's a 70% chance that over-the-counter drugs like ibuprofen will increase your intestinal permeability. Increased intestinal permeability is just a scientific way to say leaky gut. So that means if you take over-the-counter meds frequently for discomfort, there's a good chance you'll develop leaky gut. Now, don't get me wrong. Having an ibuprofen for your occasional discomfort probably isn't going to cause leaky gut, but it's important to be mindful when taking any over-the-counter drug, especially if it's something specifically targeting your gut like PPIs or proton pump inhibitors for heartburn. Using PPIs regularly often leads to an imbalance of bacteria in your gut's microbiome known as dysbiosis, which is one of the leading causes of leaky gut. You see, PPIs block a channel in the wall of your stomach that produces gastric acid. Gastric acid is an important component of digestion. It not only helps break down protein in your food, but it also reduces harmful bacteria and yeast in your stomach. So if your stomach acid is low, then bad bacteria can virtually multiply in your gut. That's what's known as dysbiosis, which, as I already mentioned, is one of the leading causes of leaky gut. Why? Well, let me put it this way. If you got more bad guys in your gut trying to get out, that's a lot of wear and tear on the cells in your gut's lining that are already working really hard to keep them from escaping. And eventually, those bad guys are going to band together and find a way to bust through. So you really need that gastric acid to keep your bad bacteria under control. And I hate to say it, but if you're trying to shed some weight, over-the-counter heartburn medications certainly aren't helping. A clinical study published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology in 2009 found that patients taking PPIs long-term gained an average of almost 8 pounds. I'm not surprised considering weight issues is one of the leading signs of leaky gut. Now, I know from personal experience how uncomfortable heartburn can be, and it's so easy to just grab that PPI, but you need to start looking at the bigger picture when it comes to your health. And that's where my gut buster number 3 comes in: stress. More than 63% of Americans are stressed about the future of our nation, and nearly 6 in 10 adults believe this is the lowest point in our nation's history that they can remember. That's according to the latest stress survey conducted by the American Psychological Association. And that's particularly bad news for your gut, because the harsh reality is stress can lead to leaky gut. In 2011, top researchers in Germany and Poland reviewed more than 50 studies on how stress affects health. They concluded that exposure to stress is a major risk factor in the development of gastrointestinal disorders and increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut. But stress can be a tricky emotion, so tricky, in fact, that you may not even be aware of what it's doing to you. In fact, 9 out of 10 patients who come to see me don't realize how stressed they actually are. Ever have a day where you were constantly distracted and just couldn't focus? Or a night in which you were so tired but couldn't fall asleep? Those are sure signs of stress. And according to the National Institutes of Mental Health, everyone deals with some form of stress every day, whether they realize it or not. But how does something like stress actually affect your gut? Well, according to a study published in the scientific journal Brain, Behavior, and Immunity, too much stress may alter the makeup of your gut's bacteria, leading to dysbiosis or an imbalanced microbiome in which the bad bacteria take over. It's just like what happens if you use too many of those over-the-counter heartburn medications I already told you about. And when bad bacteria thrive, studies universally show you're probably going to develop a leaky gut, which, as you now know, can cause anything from digestive problems to breathing issues, increased allergies, sleeping difficulties, and fluctuating weight. But don't worry. You can start protecting your gut from stress, over-the-counter meds, and even gluten immediately with the top 3 superfoods I am about to reveal. These are the same superfoods I use myself and with my patients like Maya and Emily. Superfoods, they said, gave them more energy, better focus, fewer digestive problems, improved slumber, and slimmer waistlines. And I've seen these superfoods work just as well for hundreds of other patients too. So let's get right to it, because these superfoods have proven time and time again to be life-changing. Superfood number 1, quercetin. Quercetin's superpower is that it stabilizes the gut by feeding the good bacteria along your gut lining. And when your microbiome is well balanced, that means less burden on your gut's border patrol working to keep the bad guys, like gluten, out. Like many antioxidants, quercetin also supports a healthy heart, benefits mobility and flexibility, boosts energy, promotes longevity, and strengthens the immune system. Best of all, quercetin comes straight from nature. See, quercetin is a bioflavonoid, so it's a type of polyphenol in plant foods like apples, kale, onions, and capers, which have the highest quercetin content of any food. Unfortunately, quercetin is not very abundant in the foods that make up the standard American diet, which is full of refined grains, processed meats, and sugary drinks. If you're eating like most Americans, then I estimate you're probably getting around 50 milligrams of quercetin each day. To truly promote a healthy gut, I suggest getting at least 10 times that amount. That means you'd need to eat almost 34 tablespoons of capers each day. And that's not healthy, considering capers tend to be packaged in way too much sodium. The bottom line is that I don't think Americans are getting enough quercetin. Not even close. As a doctor who specializes in gut health, I can't tell you how frustrating that is for me, especially considering it is such a safe and effective ingredient found in nature. And one more incredible thing you need to know about quercetin is that even if you don't think you have a leaky gut, the powerful plant component strengthens the microbiome in the gut and promotes gut stability, protecting you from all the dietary concerns with gluten, stress, and over-the-counter meds that I already told you about. In an article from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, Japanese researchers concluded that quercetin can also strengthen your gut's lining. More specifically, quercetin protects the cell walls that make up the lining of your gut by reinforcing or sealing those cells back together. And a strong gut lining keeps harmful toxins and food particles from seeping through between them. This is great news in the fight against leaky gut. Okay, now let's move on to superfood number 2, marshmallow root extract. That's right, marshmallow could be the key to fixing a leaky gut. Now, I'm not talking about those fluffy and delicious marshmallows you use to make s'mores. Those are loaded with gut-busting sugar. However, marshmallow root enhances digestive health for some leaky gut relief that nearly all Americans need. Here's how. marshmallow root actually forms a protective coating on your gut's lining that makes your cells stronger and helps them bond together more tightly, keeping those toxins, bad bacteria, and food particles right there in your intestines where they belong. That means your body can properly digest foods, resulting in less heartburn, bloating, or indigestion. Because when food is properly digested, your body will get all of the nutrients it needs to keep you energized throughout the day. And guess what? New research on marshmallow root suggests it also supports healthy skin, so you can both feel and look your best. And scientific studies have discovered that marshmallow root may even help you live longer. It's true. Marshmallow root promotes heart health, and heart problems are the leading cause of death in the United States. Plus, another great benefit of marshmallow root is it can boost metabolism, often resulting in a slimmer waistline. Not too shabby for a plant. All right, let's move on to superfood number 3, L-glutamine. Simply not getting enough L-glutamine may be the reason you develop leaky gut in the first place. That's because nearly 1/3 of the L-glutamine in your body is used by the intestine. The amino acid not only helps to strengthen or tighten the bonds between the cells in your gut lining, but it also protects the cells from toxins, yeast, and bad bacteria that live in your gut. In fact, an interesting research paper out of the University of Texas suggests that a deficiency in L-glutamine alone could actually cause your intestinal tissue to deteriorate, which can result in leaky gut. And an L-glutamine deficiency can easily happen if you're not eating the right foods, including spinach, fish, beets, and peas. Are those items on your weekly grocery list? Probably not. What's more, over a dozen studies have concluded that L-glutamine is an essential nutrient for gut health. One clinical study in particular that caught my eye was published in August 2018 in the British Medical Journal. It followed more than 100 patients who developed irritable bowel syndrome with intestinal permeability. Half were treated with L-glutamine and half were given a placebo, just a simple sugar pill. 80% of the patients taking the L-glutamine experienced a dramatic reduction in their symptoms, including indigestion, abdominal pain or cramping, and bloating. Of those taking the placebo, only 5% improved. 80% improvement with L-glutamine versus 5% improvement without. The numbers really speak for themselves. Now, remember when I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that one of my top 3 superfoods could help reduce your body weight and waist circumference? L-glutamine is what I was talking about. In a 2014 pilot study, patients were given L-glutamine daily while still maintaining their eating and lifestyle habits. After just 1 month, they lost 6 pounds on average and dropped a couple of inches from their waistlines. And that's without dieting. How is that possible? It's because L-glutamine helps repair and protect your gut lining so harmful microbial toxins and food particles, including gluten, can't bust through. So I wasn't at all surprised when I came across another study in the Clinical Nutrition Journal that confirmed something I have suspected for a while. Intestinal permeability, or leaky gut, may be linked to obesity. Basically, researchers observed that the obese volunteers in the study had leaky guts while the volunteers with healthy weights did not. That's why it's so important to keep the cells in your gut's lining as healthy and tightly bound as possible with L-glutamine and my other 2 top superfoods. Now I have to warn you, because there is so much scientific research validating the benefits of L-glutamine when it comes to gut health and weight management, you'll find tons of L-glutamine supplements at your local health food store. Here are some important tips to keep in mind. I recommend taking at least 5,000 milligrams daily. That's the dose that has been found to be most effective for my patients with leaky gut. But pills don't deliver doses nearly that high. In fact, you'd need to take about 5 pills a day to get the same dose as a powder. So like I tell my patients, look for a powder instead of pills. And make sure to check the label carefully because even a lot of the L-glutamine powders contain amounts much lower than the 5,000 milligrams that won't be as effective for you. Now, if you're looking for a total gut health transformation that will repair and prevent leaky gut, there's just one more really important thing I need to reveal, so that you can unlock the full potential of my top 3 superfoods. Let me ask you this. Have you ever baked a cake, grilled a steak, or microwaved a meal? Now think about how vital it was to follow the recipe for that cake so that it turned out fluffy and moist. As any good baker knows, one mismeasured ingredient could ruin the whole thing. When grilling that steak, you have to get the temperature just right. Too hot, and your steak will be crispy on the outside but cold in the middle. And if you're going to microwave something, timing is crucial. Well, when it comes to my top 3 superfoods, leaving out just one ingredient or taking the wrong dose will not be as effective. The quality and potency of each superfood are critical too. See, quality levels and potency vary from product to product. It's like the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $50 bottle of wine. Sure, they're both wine, but the taste and ultimately how you feel the next morning after drinking them are going to be completely different. Similarly, you can't just go out and grab any bottle of quercetin or L-glutamine and expect great results. If you're not using the same potency and type as the superfoods clinically proven by studies, they just won't work. But when you combine the right quality in the right amount, the powerful results are totally undeniable. Now here's some excellent news. I've already done all the hard work for you. See, over the years, I've been perfecting my recipe, and I'm happy to report that hundreds of my patients are now enjoying the amazing benefits that come from strengthening the gut lining and improving gut health simply by following my advice. Like my patient Beth, who said, I felt lots of positive benefits, a sense of physical well-being, clarity of mind, and I was losing weight as well. With Dr. Pedre's program, I have been able to embrace healthier eating as a lifestyle and not a diet, and for this, I am grateful. And that was after less than a month on my plan. That's why I'm sharing my groundbreaking formula with you today, so you too can shed those unwanted pounds, beat the bloat, boost your energy, and live your life to the fullest once again. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many pounds you want to lose, or how out of shape you may be. Today is the day you can finally strengthen and protect your gut, which may result in better digestion, fewer bad food cravings, improved sleep, a clearer mind, and maybe even a fitter waistline. This is a unique opportunity to strengthen your gut lining and eliminate your leaky gut for better digestive health and overall wellness, and ultimately to regain control of your body. So listen carefully, because I'm going to tell you how you too can enjoy the benefits Beth and thousands of others have, from improved energy and digestion to clearer skin and a sharper mind right now. For years, I've seen great results with patients who have fully committed to my top 3 superfoods, but their success hasn't been easy to come by. They were spending a lot of time comparing the labels of hundreds of products to find the correct potencies, and then combining the superfoods in just the right amounts themselves. Not to mention all the money they were spending along the way to make sure they were getting high-quality products. I'll never forget the day a patient of mine named Jason told me about how every morning he would cut open his quercetin capsule and crush his marshmallow root in order to blend them together into his morning smoothie, along with adding a scoop of L-glutamine, of course. He said to me, "Is there any way you can come to my house every morning and do all of this for me?" We had a good laugh in that moment, but later that day I got to thinking, why couldn't I do it? I mean, there are plenty of gut health products available. The problem is that none of them have the exact formula that I know has worked for hundreds of my patients with leaky gut. And nearly all the products that come close are only available to licensed healthcare professionals like me. But I don't think you should have to jump through hoops for some leaky gut relief. So I decided to make a physician-quality product available to the public for the first time ever. A single powder containing all 3 of my superfoods, so that my incredible ingredients can tackle all of your gut health issues simultaneously. I just knew there had to be a way to create the only leaky gut formula with clinically proven doses of quercetin, marshmallow root extract, and L-glutamine that would be easy, cost-effective, and taste delicious for my patients, so they could continue reaping all the benefits of having a strong gut lining and keep rogue food molecules from escaping and setting off a body-wide chain reaction of destruction. Now, as a doctor, I've had a great deal of medical training, but I still needed a lot of help to bring my innovative idea to fruition. Luckily for me, the team at United Naturals, one of the fastest growing health brands in North America, was just as enthusiastic about my concept as I was. In fact, they came to me with the same mission in mind: to stop leaky gut for good. And even though I had already figured out the right doses and potencies of each superfood in the formula, I didn't know how to combine them and make them taste good. My patients often complained about the bitter flavor of many gut health powders on the market. And as any doctor knows, patients are going to follow through with a new health protocol if it doesn't taste great. I told United Naturals my formula needed to be so delicious that you'd only need to mix it with water to enjoy. Sure, it took time to get the refreshing vanilla cinnamon flavor just right. In fact, we spent months trying lots of other flavors first. I mean, I drove them nuts with how important this was to me. And even when we chose to go with vanilla cinnamon, we took the extra effort to formulate 4 different versions of it in order to find the perfect taste that even my picky teenage son loves. So now I can honestly say that I believe we've come up with the best tasting, highest quality, all-in-one gut health solution available anywhere. And we didn't stop there. With the help of United Naturals, I was able to expand upon my original formula. While my top 3 superfoods were helping 8 out of 10 of my patients, I wanted to do better. I told United Naturals I needed a little more time to try a few other superfoods on myself and some of my patients in order to find ones that would make the solution even more powerful. And because United Naturals cares just as much as I do about helping people, they were willing to take a risk and see what I could come up with. Now, don't get me wrong, we didn't always see eye to eye. At first, they wanted to go with only 3,000 milligrams of L-glutamine, since that's what most other leaky gut formulas contain. But I stood strong and insisted at least 5,000 milligrams was necessary to truly strengthen the gut lining and support better digestion. After months of back and forth, I also convinced them to add 6 more superfoods to my formula, bringing the total list to 9 superfoods essential for anyone struggling with their gut health. We were finally ready for production, and I was so excited. But then we got some bad news. The MCT oil we needed for flavoring was going to take weeks to get. United Naturals suggested we push forward with a different oil, one that had been processed with sodium caseinate, which is a milk protein. And as any gut health expert will tell you, dairy is often a big no-no for anyone with digestive issues. I told the team at United Naturals that if we truly wanted to help people, we needed to take the extra time and do it right. Sure, it would delay production by 2 weeks, costing the company a hefty sum, but to me, it was totally worth it. And I am happy to report they agreed. That decision alone proved to me how dedicated they really are to improving health and wellness. Now I can honestly say that I predict my new leaky gut formula, consisting of the purest and most potent ingredients available, will transform the lives of millions of Americans currently suffering from poor gut health. And since the key to my formula is strengthening the connections between the cells in your gut lining, I named it Gut Connect 365. Gut Connect 365 is so innovative that you won't find anything else like it at your grocery store or online. Trust me,
I've searched for something like this myself many times. It doesn't exist. That's because Gut Connect 365 is the only formula that will simultaneously nourish, replenish, and fortify the cells in your gut's lining so that harmful substances can't escape. The powerful powder contains 500 milligrams of quercetin that is sustainably sourced from the Sophora japonica tree in Eastern Asia. This high dose of quercetin goes to work quickly to stabilize the cells in your gut's lining. Next, marshmallow root extract works to protect and soothe the lining of your gut. This will help to revitalize your gut and improve digestion, resulting in better gut health. And like every other superfood in Gut Connect 365, the marshmallow root extract is non-GMO certified. This is so important since studies have shown certain genetically modified products can actually worsen a leaky gut. And of course, each scoop of Gut Connect 365 also includes 5,000 milligrams of L-glutamine, a dose proven by clinical studies to preserve the integrity of gut lining cells. Most gut health supplements contain just half that amount or less. Plus, I made sure the L-glutamine in Gut Connect 365 is non-GMO, which is something really important to me. Remember, L-glutamine supports better digestion and can reduce food cravings for easier weight control. More importantly, it keeps nasty stuff from leaking out of your gut and causing system-wide problems. No other leaky gut formula available contains all these ingredients combined into one powerful powder with the same dosages proven in study after study, especially when it comes to the L-glutamine. That's where other companies tend to skimp to save money, often offering less than 1,000 milligrams, which won't be nearly as effective. And not only does Gut Connect 365 contain my top 3 superfoods, but it's also packed with those 6 additional ones I spent months trying out with my patients to ensure you're getting the most comprehensive formula that will repair a leaky gut, including organic slippery elm and aloe vera extract to further soothe your digestive tract, licorice root extract that clinical studies have proven will reduce body fat, Matsutake mushroom extract, which is an adaptogen that supports the immune system, and acetyl D-glucosamine that clinical studies show will protect your gut lining, and zinc orotate, which is one of the most easily absorbed forms of zinc to give your digestive system a much needed boost. It's a total of 9 superfoods combined into one single powder. Just mix your Gut Connect 365 in a glass of cold water and you get a delicious and refreshing vanilla cinnamon drink that just may be the best thing you've ever done for your gut. Even though it has only been available for a short time, people are already raving about how Gut Connect 365 has completely transformed their lives. But I want to make something very clear about my intentions. This is not a weight loss product. I didn't create Gut Connect 365 so you could lose weight. That just happens to be an amazing side effect that my patients thank me for every day. As I jokingly tell my patients, no guts, no glory. In other words, if you don't address the problems in your gut first, you'll never really come out triumphant in the battle of the bulge. So the real motivation behind Gut Connect 365 is to eliminate leaky gut and improve digestion. Imagine a day like this. You wake up well rested after a great night's sleep. You're bursting with energy. Your mind is clear and sharp. You step on the scale and see you've lost even more weight. You're hungry for a good breakfast, and you're not worried that you can't eat this or that because it might upset your stomach, because you know your stomach is strong and healthy from all the superfoods you're getting with your daily dose of Gut Connect 365. And since you've been paying close attention to this video, it's obvious that you care about your health and know that a strong, clean gut is absolutely essential to it. I personally had to cope with leaky gut syndrome for way too long. It affected my whole body, and I became extremely sensitive to my #1 gut-busting food, gluten, which was so hard for me because sugary cereal and Cuban bread were some of the staples of my diet throughout medical school. I knew then that something was off because even though I was eating all of these horrible foods, I struggled to put on weight. I know you probably think that sounds like a great problem to have, but it was actually very dangerous and very unhealthy because my body was not able to absorb vital nutrients through my gut. Instead, toxins and food particles were leaking through and setting off my immune system, causing me to feel tired, achy, and lousy most days. But ever since I started implementing Gut Connect 365 into my diet, I've had more energy and less stomach pains. I've also been more focused during the day and sleeping better at night. Now, I can't stress enough how unique and effective Gut Connect 365 is. There is no other single product out there that contains 5,000 milligrams of L-glutamine, along with a superfood mix of 8 other ingredients that clinical studies show will help relieve leaky gut. And I'm proud to say that Gut Connect 365 is made right here in the United States of America. Furthermore, every batch is tested by United Naturals as well as an independent lab that follows FDA quality control guidelines for potency, purity, and stability. Now, whether you're interested in boosting your energy or you want a little slimmer waistline, I'm sure you're ready to give Gut Connect 365, packed with my top superfoods, a try. Of course, you could go to your specialty grocery stores or search online for these ingredients yourself. But finding exactly what you need to replicate my formula is both time-consuming and expensive. In fact, I did some shopping from an online retailer and found that getting everything you would need in the right quality and potency levels would cost you more than $100 for a 1-month supply. That's just too much for anyone to spend. For example, here's 5,000 milligrams of L-glutamine for $38.99. This jar of quercetin is $29.99. Marshmallow root extracts, like these, cost about $20 each. And that's just 3 out of the 9 superfoods you need for a total gut restoration. With Gut Connect 365, United Naturals was able to engineer my precise formula with the highest purity and quality for an affordable price while still maintaining top-notch standards. This was very important to me. You see, I became a doctor to improve the health of my patients. I remember one day when I was about 7 years old while waiting at the doctor's office. I turned to my mom and said, "I'm going to be a doctor when I grow up." I don't know exactly where it came from because at the time, I dreaded going to the doctor. But from that day forward, I knew medicine was my calling. Not only was I really good at mathematics and science, but I also loved the humanities and art. And practicing medicine really is a marriage of science and art with a bit of intuition. So being a doctor brings together all of my talents in a way that I can best serve people. And even though I was only 7 years old, I knew that what I really wanted to do in life was help people. That's why I want everyone to be able to afford Gut Connect 365, so they can experience all the benefits this unique combination of superfoods has to offer, because it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to feel good. So I've put together an exclusive offer especially for new customers. When you order Gut Connect 365 through this presentation, you won't pay the full $79 per bottle. That's what United Naturals wanted to sell it for. But I've convinced their team to slash the price for a limited time because I truly want to help as many people as possible, which is why you're going to get Gut Connect 365 for the special discount of just $49 plus $5 shipping and handling, saving you $30 off the retail price. But before I tell you more, you should know that there is one catch. This massive markdown is valid through this exclusive video only while supplies last, and inventory is extremely limited. You see, the only way that United Naturals can guarantee the highest quality leaky gut formula is by making Gut Connect 365 in small batches. And every time a new batch becomes available, it often sells out in just a matter of days. But don't worry, because there is a way you can stock up on multiple jars of Gut Connect 365 to share with family and friends, or simply to secure your own long-term supply so you don't risk running out or being disappointed when you call for more. Now, do you want to lock in our very best price? The generous team at United Naturals has given me the authority to offer 2 special discount pack options to you. And you know what that means? You guessed it. Even bigger savings to new customers for buying in bulk. Our most popular option is the 3-pack, and that's 3 months of Gut Connect 365 for just $44 and some change per jar. Plus, when you order a 3-pack, shipping is free. Since taking Gut Connect 365 daily is so important to your gut health, I encourage all of my patients to start with at least a 3-pack so they don't risk running out too quickly. But because it may take a while to strengthen your leaky gut and reverse the damage that has been done over the years, I always encourage my patients to try Gut Connect 365 for 6 months in order to truly experience all of its benefits. And while 1 scoop a day will certainly help most people, I've discovered sometimes a little extra might be needed to really do the trick, especially if your digestive issues bother you on a daily basis. Some of my patients use as many as 3 scoops a day since it's so effective and so delicious. And that's why United Naturals has put together what I think is the absolute best deal for you. Order 6 jars today for $244, and you'll be getting each jar at the lowest possible price of just $40 and some change. And just like with the 3-pack, United Naturals is going to cover the cost of shipping when you order a 6-pack today.
But since my goal is to help as many people as possible, I must limit these multi-pack options to only 1 multi-pack per customer. Now, if you're still not sure whether Gut Connect 365 is right for you, I've got great news. You can try it at absolutely no risk whatsoever. Because every package we ship is backed by United Naturals' 100% money-back guarantee. And this isn't just your typical try it and we'll refund you offer. This is what I like to call a double guarantee. First, United Naturals guarantees that you will feel better and notice changes in your energy, digestion, sleep, skin, or weight within 60 days, or you get your money back. And second, United Naturals guarantees that you can get all your money back for any reason or for no particular reason at all. That's right. United Naturals will happily refund every cent of your purchase within 60 days of receiving your order. No questions asked. We want only customers who are ecstatic about our product. So are you ready to try Gut Connect 365 totally risk-free? And join those who are saying goodbye to all of their digestive troubles, sleepless nights, and seesawing weight? I thought so. Go ahead and click the orange Next Step button below to check our inventory and lock in this special price if it's still available. And if you have friends or family members who struggle with low energy or indigestion too, would you tell them about Gut Connect 365? It's the only way I'll be able to reach my goal of helping more than 1 million Americans beat leaky gut and achieve excellent gut health. Feel free to share this video with them. And of course, I'll extend to them the same low pricing. And don't forget about the risk-free 60-day guarantee. If at any time you aren't happy with your results, you can simply send back what's left within 60 days of receiving your order, and United Naturals will issue a full refund. But I am totally confident that is unlikely to happen, because I know that after you give Gut Connect 365 a try, you'll be amazed at how much better you feel. Before you know it, you'll start to notice that not only have your digestive issues disappeared, but you've also got more energy and you're sleeping more soundly. And best of all, you'll likely experience less bloating and fewer food cravings, making your weight struggles a thing of the past. Once you start to see results like these, you're not going to want to run out. So I urge you to order at least a 3-pack of Gut Connect 365 to get started. And remember, there is no quick fix for leaky gut. Even though I have created a truly powerful formula, it won't fully repair years of damage overnight. What matters most is to use Gut Connect 365 every single day. In just one daily scoop, you'll be getting all 9 superfoods proven to heal leaky gut. And whether you blend it into your morning smoothie like my patient Jason, add it to your coffee or tea, or even just mix it in a glass of cold water, you're going to love the vanilla cinnamon flavor. And keep in mind, your 60-day guarantee means there's no risk. You're just taking it for a test drive to see for yourself that it works. So just click the big Next Step button below. You've literally got nothing to lose, but so much to gain. As soon as you click, you'll be taken to our secure transaction page. And placing your order is so easy. All you need to do is fill in your shipping and payment details, then press the Submit Order button, and we'll rush Gut Connect 365 directly to your doorstep. Once your package arrives, I suggest you immediately start taking it every morning and write down how you feel every day so you can tell what it's doing for you. As a doctor, I can't stress enough the importance of making Gut Connect 365 a regular part of your daily routine. Only then will you fully realize the powerful effects of my leaky gut formula, packed with 9 superfoods working together in perfect unison to repair, protect, and tighten your gut lining that is so vital to your digestive health. And just like my patients and thousands of others, you're going to be thrilled with what Gut Connect 365 can do for your entire body. Things like better mood, healthier looking skin, a sharper mind, improved sleep, and perhaps a slender waistline. All with your daily dose of Gut Connect 365. To continue, just click on the orange Next Step button below, because I promise you'll be so glad you did. Wishing you the best of health, I'm Dr. Vincent Pedre. By the way, I always love to hear about how Gut Connect 365 is working for people. And since this report went viral, I've received countless emails full of wonderful success stories. Reading them is the best part of my day. So keep them coming. As promised, here's my email address so you can contact me directly, drpedre@unitednaturals.com. And I highly recommend that you share this presentation with those you love because everyone can benefit from hearing this information. So now, click the orange button below to take the first step to better gut health and a more vibrant lifestyle. If you're still watching, perhaps you have some questions. Here are some answers to the most frequently asked questions I've received from my patients. Is Gut Connect 365 safe? The superfoods in Gut Connect 365 are all found in nature. There's nothing artificial or synthetic in our formula, and all of the superfoods in Gut Connect 365 are non-GMO verified as well. When will Gut Connect 365 start working? Everyone is going to experience something different, but most of my patients tell me they're feeling more energy, less cravings, and less bloat in the first month. If that doesn't happen for you, do not be discouraged. For some people, it can take a few months to truly reverse the effects of leaky gut. However, to reap Gut Connect 365's maximum benefits, giving it a full 6 months is always best. What should I eat while taking Gut Connect 365? I love this question because my patients are always thrilled to hear the answer. There's really no need to eliminate specific foods from your diet. Of course, I encourage you to cut back on those gut busters I shared with you, especially gluten. Reducing the amount of gluten in your diet is a great first step to strengthening your gut lining. The good news is that most customers find they no longer crave foods containing gluten after taking Gut Connect 365. And by ordering today, you'll also get access to my Ease program, a 20-video series containing dozens of gluten-free recipes for better gut health. Is the 60-day guarantee really no questions asked? Even though there's no reason it shouldn't work, we do give you a full 60 days to see if Gut Connect 365 is right for you. So if you're not satisfied with your results during that time, simply contact United Naturals' world-class customer support team, and they will quickly provide a complete refund. Where can I get Gut Connect 365? Gut Connect 365 is only available online and at a handful of doctors' offices at this time. You won't find Gut Connect 365 in stores. This is to ensure we can continue to offer the lowest possible prices to our customers and keep the quality high. To place your order right now, just click the big orange button below. My proprietary formula consisting of 9 superfoods will be conveniently shipped straight to your home, and your total gut health transformation can begin. So click the button below before supplies run out.